بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام خاتم النبيين وبعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. May the peace and blessings of God Almighty be on all of us. Yes, welcome to episode 3 of this series. We are doing the call of Abraham, peace be upon him, the call he was commanded to make for mankind to come for Hajj, for the pilgrimage to Mecca or Bakka, as we will see in this series. But we will be looking at this whole, call of Abraham for the pilgrimage, both from the Quran and from the Bible. Because, strangely, for many people, Abraham, for the Muslim, you'll be surprised to know, Abraham is very prominent in the Bible. He's mentioned, lots of information and history about him, and as well as the Hajj and Mecca and Arabia, and that's what we did on the last episode. And Muslims will also be, fascinated at this, and Christians too will be astounded that you mean back Mecca, Mecca, where do Muslims go? And that Kaaba which Abraham built and all that is in our Bible, and we say, well, that's what this episode is all about, because we know very well that Jews, Christians, and Muslims are the Abrahamic family according to that Abrahamic branch there from his firstborn son Ishmael and second son Isaac. That is where the link comes. But if anyone is not on the Abrahamic branch, Muslims believe, and the Quran tells us, we are all, one family of humanity. Last episode we spoke about the well of Zamzam. Remember the Bible? This is the Bible when he says, when Ismail was lying there on the floor, and the Bible, in this verse, God tells to Hagar to lift the baby up, and then, look there, open your eyes, and she sees, what? There's water there. Water is life in the desert. There was nothing there before that. Well, that well of Zamzam is still, the miracle of that Zamzam is still carrying on till today, and that's a landmark, number one. That's because that well, that water is still there, and you'll find that, and the two mountains we spoke about that she was running between, at the mountain of Safa and Marwa, those mountains are still there, those two hills, so to say, and the pilgrims actually go and run as she ran between those mountains. They're reliving what Hagar, peace be upon her, went through. It's part of the Hajj, believe it or not. And we're going to come to know more about this as we go on. And this Zamzam water, 4,000 years later, and millions and millions and millions and millions of liters later, because that's what, imagine we said 3 million people come for Hajj annually. That's just for the 5 days of Hajj, not, taking into account the whole year round. People go and make Umrah, the mini Hajj, they visit, they do their mini pilgrimage throughout the year to the Holy Land of Makkah, for this Hajj. And the water is not getting finished. Scientists have come and they can't fathom out this well. How come it is still carrying on? No diseases, no problems. It is put in tankers and given from Mecca to Medina, which is almost 600 kilometers away, to the Prophet, peace be upon him, his mosque, which is another huge, site of pilgrimage. So that is the miracle of Zamzam. Now, let's give another verse in the Bible. In the book of Psalms, chapter 84, verse 6, it is stated, and they, passing through the valley of Bakka, they make it a place of springs, and the autumn rains also cover it with pools. Now, the Psalms, for those who may not know, that is actually the Zabur. The Muslims call that the Zabur that was given to Dawud alayhi salam, the Prophet David, peace be upon him. We believe he was given a revelation. Like Moses, peace be upon him, was given a revelation, which the Muslims call the Torah, and the Jews still call it the Torah, but the Christians refer to it like the Old Testament, just sometimes, generally. And Jesus' book that was given to him, which the Christians call the Bible or the New Testament, the Muslims call it the Injil in Arabic. So the Injil was given to Jesus, peace be upon him, which is regarded as the New Testament. Moses was given, peace be upon him, the Torah, which is referred to as the Old Testament or regarded to be the Old Testament. And David, peace be upon him, was given the Psalms, which is the Zabur. And here in chapter 84, verse 6, it actually uses the word, those who are passing through the valley of Becca, make it a pool of swimming. Why passing through the valley of? Why is it couched in this way? Why is this verse put in this way? You know why? Because Mecca or Becca was a caravan oasis spot for people traveling between, Syria and Egypt, and they were traveling Jerusalem. This was a land that Arabia was being crisscrossed right in the center there. I think if we look at this slide, while I'm at this point, maybe we should look at this slide. And if you look at that big in the middle there, which is Babylon, it's like in a horseshoe. That's a very old map. That Babylon is what is Iraq today. And below that you see Arabia, right? And to the left of it you see Egypt, right? You see Egypt. And below Babylon there, it was called Babylon. But actually, Damascus and Syria was all along that side. And there's Jerusalem below it. To the center of, just below Babylon, Damascus, and there you see Jerusalem, which is what we call Israel today, the land of Canaan, and Gaza, there's Palestine. If you look to the left of that, there's the Palestine and then Egypt. So Arabia, people used to travel, from all these areas. This was a place where the caravans used to move. And that is why, because of the movement of the caravans, you'll find, we come back to this slide, as they were passing through the valley of Baca. Obviously, in a desert, where there's water, there was some trees then, and people have a rest, they spend a day or two, the animals refresh, the riders, the travelers refresh, and they carry on their journey. I mean, today it's a synonymous in our 21st century. People are going on a journey to Durban, Joburg, or Cape Town, long journey, to pull over after 2 to 3 hours at one of the, ultra cities, one of the garages on the way where there's refreshments and things like that. Similar thing. So those passing through the valley of Baca. And by the way, you check up and, Baca in the Christian dictionary, encyclopedia of history of Christianity, and the Bible, you'll say it is Makkah. Another name for Baca was Makkah. So the Quran is very much talking about this spring, this well. So, and the pool of water, which was providing from that type, water and refreshment and an oasis for the travelers going through the hot desert. So you'll find that in the Quran also uses the same word Baca for Mecca as well. It uses both words. In chapter 3 of the Quran, verse number 96, in the Quran, it is stated, the first house of worship that has been built and appointed for humanity was that at Baca, full of blessings and of guidance for all kinds of beings, for all kinds of beings, for all kinds of people. Because you remember when Abraham was given, this whole theme, this whole big series is the call of Abraham. And his call was to all of mankind to come for the Hajj, north, south, east, and west. And they were coming different nations, different nationalities. And we'll see as we go on in this series, the people today, as you said, over 3 million people come. Because of COVID, the numbers are restricted, but they come from every nation and every tribe and every color and every language, of the world assembled there for the Hajj. So yes, remember to join us for this 10-minute talks, daily talks, for episode number 4. Till we meet again, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.